Not be where we are today. A special session was entirely avoidable.
They had a lot of time to get some business done and really did not. A frustrated Governor Greg Abbott ordering lawmakers back for a 30-day special session in mid-July. Alana Rocha covers the legislature for the Texas Tribune. She is live in a very quiet city of Austin, but not for long. Good morning.
No, sir. Good morning.
So the first priority is the Sunset Law, and a lot of people may have heard of the Sunset Law, but this is something the governor says, you pass this and then we can talk about all the other stuff. Why is this one so important?
Well, basically, the sunset process is where state agencies go through this every 12 years, and it's an agency review to make sure that the agency is still doing its job efficiently, operating. And then the lawmakers pass a bill at the end of the session saying that that agency can continue operating. Without that legislation, the agency, the state starts to shut that agency down. But among them in this bill is the Texas State Medical Board, that licenses our doctors. So it's pretty important, and it became a political hostage at the end. Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, said, that he wanted the House to move on property tax reform and the so-called bathroom bill. The House responded by passing watered-down versions of both, of which the Senate rejected. And here we are in a special session with this must-pass bill, though, like you said, only after this is passed will it trigger the rest of the 19 issues.
There was a lot of chest thumping down there in figurative terms between who's the tough guy down there. Is it Governor Greg Abbott? Is it the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who presides over the Senate, or Joe Straus, who presides over the House, to see who could stand up and get their way? Basically, nothing was done in a lot of major issues, and Dan Patrick kind of came out the winner, and I say that with a question mark at the end of it.
He did force Governor Abbott's hand by having to call a special session. Even up until the last 48 hours of the session, Abbott was optimistic that lawmakers could still accomplish and pass meaningful property tax reform and a version of the bathroom bill that would, as they put it, protect children and women's privacy. They failed to do both. And so, yes, in essence, Dan Patrick had the upper hand in forcing the special session, but now it's all in Governor Abbott's hands as far as, and he made that clear on sine die the last day of the session, saying, I will decide when a special session happens and what is on the call, and he has done that, although, again, many of those 19 items were Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick's priorities during the session.
Right. Right. And let's talk about that property tax reform measure, which was something that was a high priority for everybody, as people are watching their property taxes soar because valuations in many parts of Texas, particularly here in North Texas, are going up dramatically.
Right, and again, as I said, the House passed a watered-down version. The Senate wanted a version that would trigger rollback elections. So if a local jurisdiction tried to raise property taxes above a certain amount, it would be then subject to voters to approve any higher hikes, if you will. Well, the House really passed a version that would kind of create more transparency. But school finance also factors into this, and that's another item on the special session agenda by Abbott. And the House says, if we funded schools adequately, if you look at your property tax bill, the bulk of it is going to your local school districts. And so the House says, if we fund schools adequately, that is the best property tax reform we can do. So still sticking points, and we'll see. They only have 30 days to tackle quite a bit, so I don't think they'll get through it all.
Right, and really quickly, a couple of social issues as well, abortion laws and that transgender bathroom bill that probably, in the scheme of things and operating the state on a day-to-day basis, are not top priorities, but kind of make a statement about conservative Texas.
Right. And I mean, it's a matter of walking the line between social conservatives and business conservatives. And Abbott, in the measure he laid out, he never mentioned bathroom, the word, but he did talk about children's privacy in schools. So it sounds like his version of what he hopes to see passed will be more limited to schools rather than the broader version, SB 6, that the Senate passed, that would pertain to all bathrooms in all public facilities, universities, and schools.
All right. Thanks very much, Alana. Nice seeing you again. Enjoy your brief time off before you get back to work. Squeeze in a vacation, maybe. We've got a link to the Texas Tribune and Alana's reporting on fox4news.com.